This is Ken K, my dad, and my mom, Ellen K. And that's it of my family, the three of us.
Oh, that's wonderful though, to know that nobody's just all here. Now,
Mom get hooked into sailing.
Well, when I was a kid, when I was probably 7 or 8, I went to Y camp, and I took classes in canoeing, and rowing, and all that kind of stuff. And then they also had sailboats, and I got in a sailboat, and they showed me how it worked. I was like, "Row, what a cool deal!"
I became a junior sailing instructor. So I would teach younger kids than me and help them. And then when I could make money doing that, I was a sailing instructor from 16 all the way through college. And so I would teach sailing to the kids down in, the coastal Connecticut. And yeah, I loved it. I loved it. Go with your passion. I mean, that's what they did. And whether they told me or I just grew up with that, do what you love. And so I said, what about sailing?
Well, you need to back up for a minute. I mean, sailing is wonderful, but what made this a neat idea was the fact that, Jen, you need to tell what your major was in college and your passion besides sailing.
So I was a public relations and promotions and advertising major.
oh, that makes sense.
And
yes,
yes,
brings
and
it all together.
I started working at a radio station when I was 13, interning because I loved radio. I wanted to find out how it all worked. So I just have always been very inquisitive and tried to find out how these things worked and made it happen. And I love marketing and promotions. I love it. When we got this idea, it was originally to sail people around the world. And then you realize, kind of like coffee, like Starbucks, they make it in their turnover, of how many coffees can they sell. Well, we realized that that's a lot of logistics to figure out of how to get people around the world on different parts of a leg of a boat, and like sail people in segments around the world. Wouldn't it be easier just to be docked somewhere and go out for 2-hour sails, the repetitiveness of it? So
We also had the model of the schooners that we saw up in Maine, and they were working the trade.
but they were doing the 5-day cruises,
Right.
and 6-day cruises.
But we also saw some doing the short excursions in our travels.
Right. And that's where we kind of thought, well, maybe that would be better. And then it was like, okay, well, where would we do this? What kind of boat would we get? And all these questions then come up of how do you start this?
Signed the contracts in October of that year.
Yeah. So February was the time we chatted. In October, we signed contracts with the boat builder and the hotel. That changes. We're so lucky, we're insulated, so insulated in this metro area. DC, Baltimore, Philly, New York's not that far. So when it's downturn and they're not going to France and they're not going to Thailand and they're not going on their really luxurious escapes, they're then trying to find how can we get our escapes that are near us. So then we feed from the New York and more of those people want to sail with us versus when everything's going great, everybody wants to come out sailing and take their staycations and
Right.
So we're just really lucky we live where we live. Annapolis does a great job getting people here. So I have to make sure everybody knows about us when they get here or before they get here, as far as by having Visit Annapolis help us get them and get them to know about us. once they're here.
It's a very, but again, I think that, and it's very insightful. I mean, I'm sure too over the years you've really kind of learned what has worked for your company. What hasn't.
Because we also do a private charter business where we have to reach out to corporations and stuff like that.
We're lucky.
That's a different part of the market.
Yeah, we're lucky that we've got such a pull from the public cruises, and then they have a great time and they say, wait a minute, I want my company to have the same experience that I just had. You know, so we're lucky that we get people in different modes and we can pull from different areas.
I think so 20% of the people who come on the boat are return customers.
It's over 25%.
That's just a lot.
That's
Congratulations.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's
that
big.
really is great.
My given instrument is the French horn, and it's a brass instrument. But calling the boat brass balls would not be good for marketing. so we decided that I mean, we went through all these different names. And we even got a book from the library on what to name your boat. And we got the W's. We realized we're running out of names. So Woodwind was absolutely perfect. I mean, she's driven by the wind. She's made of wood. And I used to teach woodwinds and brasses and percussion and strings.
We had such a great private charter business that kept growing. The boat started not to be available for those public trips. So then it was like, do we just do public? Do we just do private? Or do we get a second boat? And if we get a second boat, and it's identical, we could then do match racing and team building events where we could have both boats racing against each other, and we might even be the only place that has two identical schooners.
Great, obvious. So how do you deal with that now? Because even to meet with us here today, there are other people who are sailing. So did you just learn over time just to let that go, or that trust element?
We set up, first of all, we have a business coach.
Oh, great.
Terry
He
Schaefer.
specializes in family businesses.
So,
Excellent.
and what he wants, and something that we wanted also, but he enforced it. He said, you need to have core values.
Do you mind sharing them with us?
Sure. Being professional, sharing our enthusiasm of sailing with others.
To treat everyone like family, and yes, that does mean sailing in the rain. That's part of exactly how it's written, because we do that, and in the safest manner possible.
For me, it's again, it's sharing the sailing. There is nothing more thrilling on a rainy day, as long as the wind's blowing, take people out and they're at the helm and I'm explaining to them how to live through the music. And they're going to say, well, you're going to do it. I said, no, you're going to do it. I said, I'm right here. Nothing bad will happen, but you're going to attack the boat. And we go through what we're supposed to do. And their eyes become so wide. Here's this 74-foot magnificent boat going through a 90-degree turn. And the crew, gathered the sails on the other side, and we are now on the opposite tack. And they say,
That's fabulous. How about you, Jen?
Mine is very similar to his. Being able to turn anybody onto something is what drives me. Whether it's music or food or sailing, I love it all. But so for me to be able to do that as my job, to do that with sailing, and to be able to turn that engine off and tell people, here's my favorite part of sailing. You turn that engine off, that's cool. And then when they take a turn at the helm, or they get it and that light bulb goes off, and you see that, and you never know where that's going to wind up.
Yours the same?
No, because I wasn't involved in the sailing part like they were. I was the business person. So the why for me was to be supportive to Jen and Ken. And because I had the business sense, I knew that the business would fail if I wasn't part of it. And so for me, it was to make sure that the business was going to thrive, to make us all happy.
Wow, that's a wonderful compliment to all.
Ezra, who runs the Annapolis yacht sales, Annapolis yacht sales, right? And they were looking for a boat that was on the market because they told him that it's a lot easier to find an owner that might be detached from their boat possibly getting renamed, the color changed, you know, some sort of, and same thing with houses and cars when they use them in movies. And so they wanted to find out what was available on the market, and our boat was not for sale, but he knows me. He's like, you really want the Woodwind? Like, no, we need to find something that's on the market. Trust us, we've done this before. They looked at maybe 50, 60 boats, and they're like, you really need to look at the Woodwind.
I'll fit. Was it the Woodwind 1 or 2? Went to the Woodwind 2.
You know, I think you really have to understand this. You really have to understand when we talk about the second boat coming online. There's a story I've got to share. When Woodwind found out she was going to be the younger sister, I have to tell you, she really got upset. So, we hired a B team. Oh, I'm sorry, both therapists. And after a few sessions, we found out it was sibling rivalry. So I said to Woodwind, let your younger sister be born. And when Schooner race comes around, you will do school race and she will have to work. Okay. So when the movie came around, Dad had to be fair. And that's why Woodwind 2 got the movie and Woodwind does the Schooner race. I just want to set this clear.
Both therapy, I love it.
Because I kept bothering the cinemas, and I'm like, I need to know. I'm a PR person. I gotta know this is gonna show up in the movie. It could be on the cutting room floor. And they said, all right, we'll try and get you advanced screening. I'm like, magazines go to print 2 months early. We need to know. So finally, the Motion Picture Association of America. Did you go too? We all no. It was me. You, he was working.
And the lady who was an actress.
There was a lady that was an actress that we had made friends with that was in there, and Ezra, the guy who put the scouts onto us. So we invited them, and you had to work. And we're sitting there in our plush velvet chairs in DC, and the movie starts, and people are laughing. I'm laughing, but other people are laughing hysterically, and I'm like, oh, this is working! People love the movie. Yay! Now I wonder if we're in it. In an hour and 10 minutes, you have to wait to find us in the movie. But they start setting it up with lines like, we gotta crash this wedding. Sailing is like sex to these people. Here you go. Here's your glossary of all the things you need to learn to get ready for the wedding of Christopher Walken's daughter, because he was a sailing enthusiast.
So like all the terminology.
Yeah, so they started setting it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna be in there. It's gonna be in there. And then when it did, I mean, tears are rolling down my face.
I know, mine too.
It must have been such a moment.
And because the boat was so beautiful.
And the music was so majestic.
It was just, it was amazing.
Really, it's just, I mean,
It's a child.
Yeah,
I'm sure, as a family member. I
Yeah.
mean, those boats are family.
Everybody asks if I have kids, and I'm like, the boats are my kids.
Boats. Oh,
This is magnificent. Well, thank you for all that you do, for being a tremendous asset in this community, and really inspiring. What I am most inspired